Welcome to Level Up, the video game podquiz, where we take a contemptuous sideways glance at the news and test our video game trivia. In the best video game tradition, the players level up by earning XP, which is awarded by me for being interesting, knowledgeable, and amusing. I'm delighted to say that joining me to test their knowledge of the industry that we call games this week are two of the loveliest men I've ever had the pleasure of spooning. Hany Gohary.
Hello.
And Rob Palethorpe.
All our secrets are out now, Kev. Yeah, hello.
Right, first off, noisemakers. Dost thou haveth them? And if so, verily, announce them to mine ear holes. See, I could have been the new Thor, but no, she's over the girl.
Hany.
Yeah, I'm not sure how loud this will be anyway, but here you go.
Marvellous.
I was there with you. I could see Mario expanding in front of my eyes.
If you'd like to imagine me expanding instead, every time Kev asks a question, I get a semi.
This is a family show, gentlemen.
Hany is the master of innuendo. We really have to watch ourselves today.
Innuendo. Rob?
I've been thinking about this, Kev, and this is my first time on the show, so just tell me what you think to this, all right? Take me a few seconds to get ready. Good? Yeah?
It's certainly catchy.
Yeah, you think so?
It will grab my attention, there is no doubt.
I'm glad I'm not around to smell that.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, because I know there's quick fire rounds here. Being in Wales, this is what I have instead.
Fantastic.
How's that? Let's do that one.
You'll be the talk of the town.
That wasn't bad at all.
Wasn't bad.
Right. So video games.
Video games.
What have we been playing this week?
I have been playing all the games this week, actually. I've been stuck at home. What would you like to hear about?
Yeah.
We have a choice. Oh. Anna, the Extended Edition. Bioshock Infinite, DLC Part 1, Burial at Sea. Mario vs. Donkey Kong, which is kind of cool. Distant Worlds Universe, or Pandora First Contact.
Golly.
What do you want to know about?
Well, which one's had the biggest impact on you? Which one have you enjoyed the most?
Anna, I think.
Yeah.
Anna. It's a point and clicker. It's kind of a scary game, actually. It starts off. It's a Euro game. It's one of these games where if you want to tie your shoes, what you have to do is you have to go out and find a cow and make leather, and then get some cotton and make laces and all that kind of thing. So it is kind of technical and boring in terms of the way the game plays. But it has a lovely progression. You start off in a beautiful sunlit garden, and then you get inside a room that's kind of gloomy, and then something happens. You kind of think, this is a scary game. I can see what they're doing. But after a while, it just adds on layer upon layer of extra improbabilities, and it gets kind of spooky after a while. And you're kind of turning around, and things appear in your peripheral vision, and it's a good game. And I thought I was okay with it, and it hadn't scared me at all. And then I went to bed the other night, had a hideous nightmare in which some of the figures from the game appeared. I thought, yeah, this has really affected me. So, yeah, I like Anna. It's a good game.
Cool. Right. Hany?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. If I say Mario Kart again, that's going to say. Well, I have been playing more and more of Mario Kart.
Nothing wrong with that.
It is a very good looking game, and that's just like an extra plus point. But it plays very well and is balanced really nicely. I sort of also recalled the fact that the Wii U still has the Wii channel in there with the Virtual Console and WiiWare and such still available to purchase, and more extensive, in fact, than the library that's available on the Wii U at the moment. So I went back in there, downloaded some of my previous games, and delved around in there a bit more. And there really are a lot of games that were released that I think people have probably missed and should take a look at. Like Konami produced some remakes or sort of remixes almost of their Castlevania and Contra games in a series they called sort of Rebirth. So you've got Contra Rebirth, which almost looks like a 16-bit game, but with slightly updated graphics and like a remix of some of the most well-known levels, with remixed musical tracks as well. And both that and the Castlevania Rebirth are really good games. But yeah, I mean, I've basically been delving into the past again.
Hany Gohary is sponsored by Nintendo.
I'll just add this. Yay!
Very fine.
Great stuff. Okay, on with the quiz then, and all the news that's fit to print, publish, delete, and deny it was ever online in the first place. As ever, there are 6 imaginary boxes for the players to select from, which will lead to a question rooted in a news story from the past 7 days. Now, Rob, you're new to this, so
yes.
I'll give you the privilege of going first. Pick a number from 1 to 6, please.
I'm thinking you would have started with the easy questions. Now, actually, how does your mind work, Kev? Do you order the questions?
If I ever find out, I'll let you know.
Oh, in which case, I'm going to go late on in the week. I think at number 5, I'll be confident with number 5.
Number 5.
Yeah.
Okay. Why might the devil be heading east?
Hang on. Can you repeat that? Because it's going to take me a while to slap it into Google. I have no idea.
You should just have Siri next to your mic.
I think that's
just to pick up the question.
Yeah, exactly. I wish this was like a pub quiz where you could sort of just go to the toilet halfway and come back knowing the answer, and then that'd be fine. Why might the devil be going? This is probably one of those console franchises that I know nothing about. Am I right in thinking that?
Nope.
No. Great.
That's not to say it's not available on consoles, but
okay.
It's not exclusively a console franchise.
Is this related to Bobby Kotick at all?
No. Well,
okay.
maybe very, very loosely.
That guy. I'm sorry, go on.
Doom. There's a new Doom out. That involves the devil. Is something to do with that?
That's if the devil was going to Mars. I think you'd be right on the.
Well, East Mars maybe. I have no idea. East? Is there a clue in the east part?
The clue is in the question. Yeah, so.
Which is in the question. Hany, we need to this.
I feel it might be unfair if I get it. So I'll, on behalf of Rob, I'll just ask if this is in any way some kind of diabolical question.
Yes.
Nice one. Okay. So there is a Diablo spin-off, I take it. No? No. Hany, go for it.
Well, I've just had more time to think about it now. I'm just going to guess that Diablo 3 on consoles and otherwise is heading east or is being released in Japan. I don't actually know any.
Yeah, close.
Korea?
No. I'm going to tell you.
Yeah,
Blizzard have announced that they're working with Chinese internet company NetEase, who were responsible for delivering Blizzard's previous games like StarCraft 2 and World of Warcraft to the Chinese market again in order to get Diablo 3 released there.
Okay.
I'm surprised it hasn't been already, to be honest.
It's never straightforward, is it, going into China? A lot of deals
I wouldn't know, Kev.
A lot of deals that have to be struck. I'm just going historically from news, trying to get stuff released over there, even getting consoles into the country, obviously, because they were all banned, weren't they? So, this type of thing isn't an easy thing to do. Right, so, Hany,
yes.
Number 5 has gone. Pick a number from 1 to 6.
Uncharacteristically, I'll pick an odd number this time, despite my hatred of them, and go for number 1.
Number 1. Whose venture started well but has now taken a kicking?
Okay, can I change my mind?
I think I know this one. Hany, I can help you with this one.
It's all right. I'm going to guess that it's what we touched upon earlier, and quite frankly, the only thing that's on today's gaming drama website.
Yes, indeed.
Which I haven't got open now because my browser crashed while we were setting up. Is this the Yogscast Kickstarter that went horribly wrong, so to speak?
It is indeed.
So yeah, was it around $570,000 they got off people for this project?
I've seen 2 figures published. I've not looked at the Kickstarter itself, but I've seen 570 and 540.
So a reasonable amount of money.
Half $500,000 to make a game.
That never came out and has been scrapped, and the company that they were partnered with to make it is apparently is going to go bankrupt.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, he's run out of money, can't continue with it, and Yogs has to say, well, not our problem.
Yeah, I read part of their sort of statement, and it said something like, even though we're not obligated, we're offering people a free code instead to this other game we're sort of involved with now called, is it called Tug or something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
And I didn't like the whole, even though we're under no obligation to bit, because once you have a fan base and, well, you're part of the project, then you do have an obligation. And
it's sold on the back of your name. It's your your name, your reputation. You're saying, yeah, this is us. Come buy it. We're involved in this.
It's almost the same position a publisher or producer would be in. So you are responsible for following up on the project and seeing whether it was performing to schedule or not. And the minute they realized it was never going to be what they hoped it would be, or whatever else they said in their statement, they should have pulled the plug or gone, hold on, put the brakes on, and we need to find another partner and such. So it is their responsibility. A large part of it is.
I really don't think I have a problem with the fact that, yes, it's bad for those, especially those who've paid an awful lot of money to see this happen, but you're a venture capitalist in some senses when you sign up for a Kickstarter. You're basically saying, here's my money, I would love to see your project happen, but I take a risk. And I think in some ways it's probably good that this has happened, because people will not think they're getting they have a guaranteed final product at the end of it.
Yeah.
There might be some reality coming to the system again. Now, I agree, it's terrible for those people who are really looking forward to it. Those people who have stumped up the higher tiers, really sorry for them. But it is venture capital, and stuff goes wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
absolutely agree. Right.
I was just going to ask if anyone had sort of contributed to a Kickstarter campaign.
I haven't.
I've done two, actually. I've been thinking of two this week. One is an album. Tony Wright, the guy out of TerraVision, who did a solo album. But actually, that was in the can already, so that was going to happen, and there was no risk, particularly with that. The other one I've been thinking about, and just don't have the money to do, is a card game called Gothic Doctor, which is kind of a Scooby-Doo art type game. Looks fantastic, based in the States, and again, that's guaranteed to happen, really, but it's a lot of money, so so I haven't done it. No particular problem doing it, but if you're getting on very, very early, I do think there's a huge risk, and people just need to know that there's that risk.
Yeah. Now, I'm even reluctant to go in with early access games. I've got no issue paying for a product, but the idea that I'm paying for something that I may never actually have, I just, I'm sorry guys, but I'm not into that, Right, so that's 1 and 5 gone. Rob?
I thought you were doing the scores there for a minute. I thought, I've got 5. No. That's not the way this game works. Right, go on.
Yes,
a question I know the answer to.
2, 3, 4 or 6?
2, please.
Number 2. Why might it be dangerous to think that only the PC is elite?
There is. I know this. There is a new Elite title in development. Was it a Kickstarter as well?
Yes.
I seem to think it probably was, isn't it? But, and I'm only going from one line of IGN news that I frantically revision before this show, it's going to consoles as well, because they're saying that it was a PC game, but it's too good just for PC. We need to let everybody in the world have it. So that's all I know.
And that's pretty much the story. David Brabham said it would be stupid not to get Elite Dangerous onto consoles, specifically the Xbone and the PS4. I mean, just purely again from a sales perspective, you want it sold to as many people as possible, don't you? And
Indeed.
It's looking lovely. Our PC Gamer are putting up lots of screen grabs of it, and but they're playing it with the Oculus Rift as well, and proper raving about it.
Fabulous. the one I want is one of the X-Wing games or TIE Fighter to be re-released. I just had the best time with those. Elite was never my thing. TIE Fighter was always my thing. And it felt like a universe, and I want that one now.
Yeah, X-Wing Alliance, loved it.
Yeah.
Absolutely loved it. Now I'm inclined to agree. Again, it's a shame that one. Oh, it was developing it. I can't remember now, but there was one in development, wasn't it? It was supposed to be similar type of thing, but maybe a bit more arcadey, more like the Road Leader games.
We've had a few of the arcade games out recently, and certainly the indie developers have been producing quite a few space shooty type things. Strike Suit, Zero and Infinity kind of come to mind. But I want something kind of hardcore. I want something that feels like you're in a big fight that's bigger than you. And the last title was Free Space, I think, that did that for me.
Oh, Free Space. Yeah, I remember finishing Free Space 2 back in the day. Which was a bootleg copy, I'm afraid to admit. Well, I'm not afraid to admit, there was no other way to get it in Egypt. I now have the official one off GOG. But it was loads of fun. The whole UI and interface was so well thought out that I don't think I've like seen a HUD since that's so well put together with all the like proper targeting controls and telling you how far away the ship is and everything just controlled superbly.
That was a fabulous game. And also, when you spoke to your wingman, you actually thought that this computer-generated wingman was doing what you told him to do.
Yeah.
And you thought, there were times when it was a case of, do I shoot the guy in front of me, or do I tell my wingman to go off and do something? Because both are valid choices. And, I've not had that in a game since then, really. So, forget Elite, bring back TIE Fighter, X-Wing, that's what I think.
I think, looks-wise, I'm more interested in No Man's Sky, anyway.
That's got me all kinds of jelly-legged.
Just graphically, it's really pretty. I don't think I've seen it. It looks like something that would take a while to play through, so if you want to see any gameplay, it would need to be like an hour long to get an impression of how it actually plays, but certainly looks very pretty.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, have you not seen much of No Man's Sky yet, Rob?
I haven't, actually.
Oh.
Would I like it?
Oh, I think so. Procedurally generated universe, completely open-ended gameplay.
Hang on, I'm going to look at pictures on the internet now.
It's by, I think Hello Games are like 4 people.
Mm-hmm. I will think there's 6 of them now.
Okay.
They've expanded. They're getting big time.
That does look pretty.
It's stunning. There's some gameplay footage from E3 because it's coming out initially as a PlayStation 4 exclusive, although realistically it will follow on PC at some point, but initially it's a PS4 exclusive. And I actually, considering it's an indie game, I think it's a system. From what we've seen so far, it's a system seller. It really is. A stunning looking game that just again ticks so many boxes. So
I'm looking at I'm looking at a cockpit shot now, and there are a lot of ships there, and there's laser beams firing in there. That's the kind of thing that would make me buy a PS4.
Yeah,
I agree.
Wait till you see the dinosaurs on the planet.
I'm looking at them now, actually. Yeah, very
Stunning.
good.
Yeah.
Very good. Okay.
Yes, so absolutely right. Yes, that was a question related to Elite Dangerous coming to consoles. Okie dokie, Hany, back to you. We have 3, 4, and 6 remaining.
I'm going to continue on with the horrible odd numbers and go with 3.
Oh, you're going to like this one. Who's looking to mop up after you've weed?
The only thing I can think of, which didn't strike me as a major bit of news, but was Sony claiming that previous Wii owners are now buying PS4s. Is that it?
That is it. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. They said that. They seem to be, or their surveys have shown that they're attracting the crowds who previously bought into gaming via the Wii. I don't think they showed these actual numbers or the sort of research that their claims are based on. So I'm saying sure for now.
No, it's Sony's Andrew House suggested they're targeting Wii owners who perhaps skipped the 360 and the PS3. They're the people although hardcore gamers might not want to hear it, they're the people that they would like to get on board with the PS4. So they're the people. It's more that they're the people they're looking to target because they're more the people that are now showing an interest You know, that they're done with their Wii. They may be looking to get a new console, and again, the amount of positive publicity that the PlayStation 4 has managed to sustain since its announcement is what's attracting them to maybe go that way, as opposed to staying with Nintendo or moving to Microsoft.
The statement definitely makes sense, like to target them, but I just don't see how yet. The PS4 doesn't, in my mind, still have compelling sort of software for the hardcore gamers, and apart from a couple of pieces of sort of family-friendly stuff they have out, I still don't see anything that would compel sort of family people or previous Wii owners to go for it either. It's still a relatively high price point, and I guess as a sort of media center thing, the Wii never played DVDs or Blu-rays anyway, so they would have already had a PS3 or Blu-ray player for doing that. So I just didn't see much sort of for the basis behind it, or what he was basing his claims on. But I mean, it makes sense to certainly target as wide an audience as possible, especially while Microsoft seem to be alienating as many as possible.
Yeah. Well, no, I think this is it. It's more about that's who they're targeting as opposed to that's who they're attracting. It's more about targeting. Again, I think people who had a Wii and maybe didn't go with the 360 or an Xbox, a 360 or a PS3 as well. Again, just if they're looking to buy a console, if they look in the news, it's the PS4 that's going to grab the attention because that's the one that people are talking about, and that's the one that particularly games media are more focused on because it's winning the sales race more than anything else. And it again, that's what it all comes down to, isn't it? What's selling, what's making the money? Or the PS4? Let's talk about that. So okay, Rob, we have 4 and 6 remaining.
4 and 6. I think 6 is my best chance. Yeah.
Who's been frank this week, admitting if they'll buy it, then it's done?
Someone called Frank, I think, is probably the answer. Is that enough? Do I get a point?
No. Unfortunately, that's not Frank with a capital F.
Can I have question number 4, please, Kev?
It's just a bit of refreshing honesty.
I don't really know. No.
Any idea, Hany?
I don't really recall if you about this done. Blah blah blah.
I'm feeling so guilty now for putting you in this situation where you have to go, oh, I don't know, because I don't know either.
I'm going to tell you. Don't worry.
Yeah, go on.
The answer's Codemasters. They've released a booster DLC pack for Grid Autosport. It costs about £2.40, and all it does is it lets players gain extra experience in career mode and extra cash when they race online. It simply is that. And when asked why they do it, because obviously people are like, you can't do this, this is terrible. Codemasters' response was, people will buy it, we're going to do it.
Then it's done. I was thinking, it's
business.
Finished?
Yeah,
absolutely. That's a trick question there, Kev. Yeah. But
yes, meant to be.
I definitely hadn't heard of that at all, so yeah.
Bit of refreshing honesty from the publisher, admitting that they're just happy to take your money if you're gullible enough to give it to them.
And again, going back to the point earlier with the handing money over, if you're happy to hand your money over and you know what you're getting for it, I have no problem with that at all. It's where people expect things that maybe they're not going to get. That's more of a problem for me. But yeah, I have no problem with exploitative, expensive DLC.
I do. I don't like it. Again, I like to. I'm happy to pay for a game. It's what stops me buying a lot of games, because I think, well, no, why buy that now? I may not have time to play it all straight away. By the time I do get to play it, they'll probably have added 2 DLC packs for it. I may as well just wait a year, buy the complete edition, Game of the Year edition, Ultimate edition in 12 months' time when it's a tenner on Steam. And jobs are good.
Yeah, it'll be $4.99 on Steam.
Yeah,
yeah, exactly.
That's happened before with both Batman, Arkham Asylum and Arkham City. I think within a year they were like $4.99 in the Steam sale.
Yeah, so.
Have either of you ever bought DLC for a game at full price?
I'm trying to think. I know. I think I bought the the Deus Ex Human Revolution DLC. I'm not sure if it was full price. It may have been. I don't think it was that much, but
Yeah.
I haven't actually played it yet. So there you go.
Yeah, similarly, I bought Missing Link. I paid full price for Missing Link.
And I think that's possibly part of my point. If you really enjoy the experience and you want to extend it, then I don't see a problem particularly with that. I think I bought quite a lot of the Crusader Kings expansions because I really love that game. And, to have the old gods and a bit of music, I've been happy with that, actually.
I know what else. There's a Phoenix Wright game on the 3DS, which was download only, at quite a reasonable, I think it was $19.99. And you have I think 4 or 5 cases to complete in the main game. But within about a month or less, a couple of weeks, they released a DLC case as well, which was sort of aside from the main story. I think it took place after the first episode, or the first case. And I bought that instantly the minute it was out because the trailer looked hilarious with this sort of dancing killer whale and some sort of pirate show that they had in an aquarium. But I bought that on release, and I've actually completed that before completing the main game. So yeah, if DLC looks good enough, is reasonably priced and such, then yeah, I'll buy it. Don't buy much of it, but yeah, I'll buy that.
I get the impression this is kind of subversive. I don't think there's many people out there that welcome DLC with open arms, but I don't mind it.
There must be plenty of people do, otherwise it wouldn't exist.
Yeah.
What I object to mostly though is when you get the feeling that things are removed from games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like what happened with Street Fighter a couple of years ago, where all the DLC was effectively already on the disc, but then you had to pay to unlock it. That feels nasty. That feels like exploitation. I don't like that.
On disc DLC, I think I was arguing with someone else about it at the time, and I felt I didn't necessarily mind it, but it was all sort of behind the scenes. I wouldn't have minded it if they planned the whole game and then had a separate group of developers planning things to release in DLC, and then they just went, well, let's stick it on the disc anyway since it's done. But the other stuff that gets actually removed during game development is very shady or underhanded. But the problem is that would all be behind the scenes. So again, you wouldn't actually know whether you had a separate group planning stuff to be released as DLC or stuff actually got stripped out. So on the one hand, I was like, well, I wouldn't mind if it was on the disc because I wouldn't really have any way of knowing at what stage they planned it. But that's also the problem of why people would be uncomfortable with it. They might feel it was stripped out of the main game. So I think Assassin's Creed 2 had a similar complaint or something, because 2 missions, it sort of jumped between, you sort of had something like mission 12 and then it jumped suddenly to mission 15 or something.
Yeah, I think it was one. I think you're right, yeah. Yeah, Assassin's Creed 2, I think you're right.
So I recall
certainly one of the
complaining
Assassin's
about
Creed,
that.
anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's exactly the type of thing. That's cheating your audience.
Can we agree as well that we hate and loathe and detest store-specific pre-order bonuses?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Absolutely.
yeah. Okay. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Awful things.
It's shit.
Kill them dead.
Yeah.
Basically, DLC is good when it's planned in the same way expansion packs used to come out, in
Absolutely.
the olden days.
Yes.
For say half the price or 2/3 the price of the full game. You had an extra mission or area and such opened up, and it wasn't just weird little tidbits of stuff that's sold at ever-increasing prices.
So we're agreed.
We are agreed. We're in harmony.
Yes. And finally, Hany, that leaves us with question 4.
I'll have question 4.
Who is refusing to have his image dictated?
Oh dear. Who is refusing to have his image dictated?
Yes.
Can I phone a friend?
I'll be your friend. This is one I know.
Oh. Image.
Pressure's on now.
It certainly is.
Yeah, it is. Dear. No. It's,
Okay. Rob, do you want to have a go at it then?
Well, actually, it's a long-running story, but it's Grand Theft Auto 5 it started with, I think, and was it Lindsay Lohan who objected to her
No.
image being... No, it didn't.
No.
Let me carry on with this. We're not there yet, because she objected to that game. I think she was in that game. Not played it, don't know, but I think she was in it, and she objected to her image being used. And in a similar thing, dictator Manuel Noriega has said that his image appears in Call of Duty 2, Call of Duty, one of the many Calls of Duty, saying that people are using his image to make money, and he doesn't like that, and also it doesn't exactly paint him in the best of light, because you've got to go in and do nasty things to him, and he objects. So basically he register his complaint that his image is being used.
You salvaged it at the end there, Rob.
Yeah, well, it kind of started with one and then went on to the other almost instantly.
Yeah, well, the Lohan thing, Lohan's suing Rockstar for a character she claims is based on her.
Ah, okay.
Wasn't it part of the cover art or something?
Yeah, it's one of the characters on the cover. Again, I've not played 5.
No, neither have I.
I am kind of bored of
so we're all talking about this game never having played it. That's what I like to see.
Well,
research.
But we're aware there's a character in there who apparently is some drug-addled actress, self-absorbed, all round nasty character. And Lohan, to be fair to her, stood up and said, "Hey, that's me." So, full credit to her. Yeah.
I think I remember it was sort of a blonde model that they used for the cover art that she said looked like, she basically sued them saying, "You've used my likeness," and I'm pretty sure they then went and just produced the actual blonde model and went, "No, we used her." You can tell it's precisely her. I think it was much more valid when that PlayStation game, The Last of Us. Ellen Page, sorry. Yes. Ellen Page complaining that they'd used her likeness when she'd only signed up with Sony for her likeness in Beyond, which was another game, not by Naughty Dog. Beyond was by Quantic Dream. But I think she was way more justified because although they altered her look slightly later on, the sort of young girl character out of The Last of Us definitely looked in the early gameplay previews a lot like Ellen Page. I mean, everyone assumed it was Ellen Page. Like there were more people sure of that than there were confused over whether the Wii U was just a controller or a new console.
No, yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, I think when I first saw the cover art for Last of Us, I thought it was Ellen Page. Yeah. No two ways about it. And obviously then I heard that she was going to be in a game, and I thought, oh yeah, I've seen the cover art for that. No, I hadn't. It wasn't that game.
So do we sympathise with dictator Manuel Noriega then? Because he's actually named in there, and you have to go and shoot him presumably.
Well, there's a campaign where he's not named, but he appears as false prophet. The character certainly looks like him, and it's set in Panama between 86 and 89 when he was in charge, but it's in that area and it relates to CIA operations as well. So there's no two ways about it. It clearly is Noriega. So yeah, this is the story that former Panamanian dictator Manuel Antonio Noriega is suing Activision for unjust enrichment, unfair business practices, and violation of common law publicity rights, as well as lost profits in relation to Call of Duty Black Ops 2. The 80-year-old, who since 1992 has been incarcerated in America, then France, and now back in his native Panama with convictions for drug trafficking, money laundering, murder, and human rights violations, is due for release in 2031. Yeah.
I don't sympathise because he sounds like a complete bastard, but I only sympathise in regards to having come across Infinity Ward or Activision's laziness in the past, because Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 was supposed to be set in some... I think it was 2, actually. I don't think it was the first one. It might possibly be the first one.
No, I think it's Modern Warfare 2. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, the signs over the street.
It just had Egyptian road signs over these streets in some, non-named Arab country. And several people were literally just going, "Why have you got Egyptian road signs up there? Where's this supposed to be set?" And I think I emailed them and there was no reply. And like the 2 forum posts that people had, forum threads that people had opened, just got no reply whatsoever. So they'd clearly just, booked a nice holiday to Egypt, taken a few pictures on the way from the airport to the beach, and called it a day. Just stuck those textures in there. So yeah.
I think we need to ask Kev some questions now.
I can't really formulate this into a good question.
Go on, hit me.
Okay.
I'll formulate this as a question. Okay. How have Russia Today exhibited not so solid news reporting?
Not so solid news reporting. I mean, not so solid makes me think liquid, but I can't think of anything to do with liquid that's happened in the news this week.
You're kind of, think solid and liquid, but game related and.
Well, if I think solid and liquid, I think a snake, and that takes me to Metal Gear Solid.
I think this.
Well, again,
this
I don't see what that's got to do with.
Okay, unless Rob wants to buzz in.
I obviously know the answer, actually, Hany, but I just like to see Kevin squirm.
No, I've got no idea. Go on, tell me.
I think this only happened like last night or this morning, but Russia Today, the news channel, was interviewing someone on a story about child soldiers, and they were supposed to have on their screen a picture of African child soldiers, but
and
instead
they had a
happened
game
to have
shot
of Metal Gear Solid 5. Yeah. Which actually had a Konami watermark in the bottom right when I saw it, but maybe it didn't on screen when they had it up. But yeah.
Yeah, so I did glance at that story. Yeah, no, I didn't read it, but I glanced at it. I saw the image of them from Metal Gear Solid 5. Oh, so I almost decided.
Yeah, there you go. You were close.
That was close.
How does this stuff happen then? Because I remember a little while ago there was a promotional shot from Arma 3 that
that was
hit
on
the BBC News.
Program. Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Would you like another question?
Oh, go on then.
Okay, what can you do to bring dinosaurs back to Liverpool?
I don't know, Cilla Black Touring.
No. I may have to give you. This is one you kind of know or you don't know.
Dinosaurs back to Liverpool. No, it's one of the new Liverpool development studios working on a dinosaur game. Who have we got in Liverpool? We've got 5 sprites, haven't we? We got.
It's not a big studio. It's an indie.
It's an indie.
It's a one-person indie.
No, I don't know.
Oh, okay. This is the news that indie developer Rob Fearon, I'm not sure how you pronounce his name, Fearon, seems like a great guy anyway. He's responsible for Death Ray Manta, DRM.
Oh, yeah.
Rob Remakes.
Rob Remakes, yeah. Lots of other stuff, Bag Full of Wrong, all great little games in their own right. He wants to get onto Greenlight, and he's basically gone onto Twitter to say, put me onto Greenlight. If you get me onto Greenlight with the proceeds, I am going to buy a dinosaur. And I'm going to put it in my front garden. And he's found the dinosaur he wants, and it's a garden centre type of thing. It's a big sculpture, quite a large velociraptor. I think it must be 6-8 feet tall, and he's going to buy it's £12,000, stick it in his front garden. With his Greenlight proceeds, he's going to buy a dinosaur. Good on you, Rob.
Sounds
well
awesome.
done. It just sounds great. So go on to Greenlight, back his game. Let's see dinosaurs in Liverpool.
Fantastic.
Another nice little bit of trivia about Rob is that his location under his Twitter bio just says behind you, and even though I've read it about 10 times, every single time I just go to check up on him or check his profile and it says behind you, I don't actually turn around, but for half a split second I almost do. He gets me every time, in other words.
And he seems like such a nice guy as well. So yeah, good luck to him. I hope he gets it.
Yes. So yeah, if you're on Twitter, check him out. Was it at Retro Remakes? Is that what he's on?
I think it's either Rob Remakes or it's Retro Remakes.
It is.
My brain just
Retro Remakes, yeah.
is starved at the moment. So
Okie dokie. A few other news snippets from this week. Bloomberg reported that Activision Blizzard CEO Bobby Kotick almost had his bluff called and was sacked by Vivendi during the company buyout last year. News came to light as a shareholder accused Kotick of brokering a deal that favoured himself over the shareholders by insisting he would not cooperate with any deal that didn't include his own investment group. Kotick, who, as far as I know, has never sat back in a chair and laughed maniacally while saying, "Call of Duty players, we spoon-feed them the same shit every year and they just lap it up. Map packs for a tenner. There isn't enough hand cream and Kleenex in the world to express my joy." According to a Delaware judge, may have a case to answer. Xbox Entertainment Studios are to close as 18,000 Microsoft employees are made redundant across the company. Mm-hmm. Current projects such as Halo TV series sadly will continue unaffected. Mind Candy's Michael Acton Smith is stepping down as CEO to return to a creative role. The Moshi Monsters creator's success was built on a free-to-play online game aimed at 6 to 12-year-olds that spawned a franchise which includes toys, games, print media and clothing, but now believes that they've become over-reliant on the Moshi brand and they need to break the US market. A number of YouTubers have been exposed as paid-for corporate mouthpieces, taking payment for giving exposure to games while giving the veneer of doing it for the love because they're gamers just like you. And hot on the heels of American Federal Trade Commission going after Amazon last week, the EU have been critical of Apple over the handling of in-app purchases, but seems to be more focused on what constitutes a free app rather than avoiding little Timmy wiping out mummy and daddy's credit card. So that's the news this week.
The YouTube thing, I'm in two minds about that. I mean, certainly paying for review scores is completely wrong. But if people are making their living at it, and people do these days, then should they be able to monetize?
I don't think there's an issue with monetizing, and I don't have a problem with people being paid for their work. What I have a problem with is advertising not being clearly labelled as advertising, and when you're being paid to positively present something, it's an advertisement. Even if it appears in print media, it goes down as an advertorial.
If that's not your opinion, absolutely.
Yeah, and these... Well, no, even if it is your opinion, it's one thing to express an opinion and say, I really like this, I think this is brilliant. But the minute you're being paid to say, I really like this is brilliant, it's a paid-for opinion, and it stops being all innocence. And so often we see people critical and quite vicious about genuine journalists and people who do this for a living that are paid for by a company that isn't directly connected to the games. And yet these YouTubers being paid directly by the people making the games to say the game's brilliant are treated as if they're all innocents and they're just one of us. And I think that is where things get uncomfortable, because they're not. And it's this veneer that it's done just because they're just like us. They're just gamers, and they just play games, and they just like games, and they just want to talk about games because they're just gamers and they just want a game. And why would people have a go? Because they're only gamers. They're just gamers like you. Why it's not like it's not like their job. No, just leave them alone. Man. It's not like it's their job. I mean, it's you bastard journalists who are having a go at them all the time. It's you getting paid by your advertisers to give Kane and Lynch 7 out of 10. You bastards. So it's.
But are you all right? Do you need a glass of water?
But
I definitely do.
It's that thing, the YouTubers aren't. They're, if anything, they're more corruptible than a print journalist or an employed journalist, a professional journalist, for want of a better term.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Fully agree with you, Kev. Well done. But can you say that again, just so that I can get it clear in my head?
So now it's time for our general trivia fastest finger round. So audible attention-seeking apparatus at the ready. Marvellous. And we're starting this week with a listener question. Listener questions are extra special, just like our listeners themselves. And so this is worth double XP.
Excellent. Thank you, listener, whoever you are.
This was sent in by Stuart Luff, who asks us to name the only game on the Sega Mega Drive to use lock-on technology. Oh, gentlemen.
I used to like Stuart Luff. Now I hate him.
The answer.
I'm gonna do that. Was it
Yeah, I
some
want to
Terminator
avoid as
game?
It wasn't. No.
Was it what? I mean, I don't even know what lock-on technology was. It sounds like a light gun to me. Is it that kind of thing?
Nope.
Nope.
So congratulations, Stuart. You've stumped the panelists. The answer was Sonic and Knuckles. The cartridge for Sonic
crap.
and Knuckles
I knew
had
this.
like a flip lid,
Did you?
so you could plug.
You could plug the
Sonic.
previous games in and play through the levels from the previous games. Yeah.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was the only
Wow.
game that was released like that, though. So yeah, thanks to Stuart for sending that in.
Wait, we can re-edit this, and I can do this. And was it Sonic and Knuckles?
No, I think we'll just give Stuart the victory there.
Well done, Stuart.
Yes,
well done, Stuart. We love you deeply.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if any other of you lovely people here taking the time to listen to us have a bit of game trivia you want to test our panelists with, then please email it in to leveluppodquiz@gmail.com. Fingers back on your buzzers. Everyone knows that Sonic is a hedgehog, but what is Knuckles? Hany.
Was that just your sheep being a bit slow?
It was. It was.
I don't even know what this thing is. It's an echidna.
It is an echidna, absolutely right. It's a kind of hedgehog anteater hybrid thing.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like the stuff of nightmares.
Yeah. Okie dokie. We've mentioned Activision Blizzard and Call of Duty. So, nice easy one. Who are the original developers of Call of Duty? Rob.
Infinity Ward.
It is Infinity Ward.
Infinity Ward.
I was hesitant there.
I know the delay there suggests you thought it might have been a trick question or something.
Well, actually, the sheep is so slow in its bleating that it gives me time to think. That's what it is.
I was hesitant. I was like, wait a minute, it is Infinity Ward, isn't it?
It is Infinity Ward, yes. Infinity Ward was created when a team of developers left 2015 following the critical and commercial success of another World War II shooter. Which one? Hany.
I was just lucky there that the sheep's slow. Medal of Honor.
I'm going to need a bit more.
Oh, Medal of Honor Allied Assault.
It was Medal of Honor Allied Assault. Yeah.
That was the one. Curse that sheep.
Bet you're feeling sheepish now. Sorry.
In 2010, the founding execs of Infinity Ward, Jason West and Vince Zampella, were fired by Activision. Now, before suing and being counter-sued and then eventually all getting together in a locker room and doing a funny handshake, what new development company did they set up? Hany.
I was just waiting to see if I could hear a sheep in the background. Respawn Entertainment.
It is indeed Respawn Entertainment. What was Respawn's debut title? Hany.
That big robot thing. That game I haven't played because it probably won't run on my PC. Titanfall.
It is indeed Titanfall.
Does Titanfall have a... Sorry, I cut you off there. I was going to say, does it have a single-player component or not?
I don't know. I've not played it. It's a multiplayer online shooter, so who cares?
I believe it's got a running narrative throughout all the campaigns, a little like Brink did.
You've completely not sold it now. I hate it.
Yes, yeah. But I think most people just ignored it. It kind of went away.
See, the problem I have with Titanfall isn't with Titanfall itself. It's with the people who play Titanfall, or at least the people I worry might be playing Titanfall.
Console gamers.
No, it's not even that, because I'd have no objections playing on the console. I don't have device loyalty. It's I don't mind. Funny enough, Battlefield 4, when the demo came out or when the beta was out, I enjoyed it far more on the 360 than I did on the PC. Which must have surprised me, but there you go. So no, it's not about the device that you play in the game on. It's more I worry about the people that are playing it, because I've played online shooters. I like playing online shooters with friends and people that I can have for want of a better term, banter with. I can have a bit of a joke with. The people that don't mind constantly wiping me out. But I take exception at people who are bad winners. That kind of people who have got all this time to keep playing it and keep practicing it, that as soon as you get in there, you're wiped out straight away. You never have time to develop into anything approaching a competent player. So you kind of feel like it's straight off the bat, you're not going to have a fun time. And that's what it's about. It's not about even being good at the game. It's about whether you can have a fun time being bad at it. And my experience, again, with the later Call of Duties and going online with them, and even with the likes of Battlefield 3, I found I can't even have fun being a loser. Whereas Battlefield 2, I plunged so many hours into that, and I never got anywhere near competent at it. But I had a great time playing it, and I enjoyed it, and I don't mind that. As long as I'm having fun, I'm okay with it. Maybe I'm just old.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the same problem. I'm crap at online shooters because I'd never have the time anyway, and I'd probably rage quit after getting killed for the 80th time. And the only online shooter I'm actually looking forward to or interested to learn more about is Nintendo's Splatoon for the Wii U, which will be released 2015, and yes, I'm still not getting paid.
No, but it looks again. It's doing something original, isn't it? That's the one where you turn into a squid, isn't it? To go.
It's it's not just that, but it also sort of removes a lot of the aspect of having to be a sort of accurate shot, because the main object of the game is to you use effectively sort of super squirter / paint guns to splatter as much of the level as you can in your team's color. And then it's literally a percentage bar at the end that determines whether you've won or not. And that just seemed brilliant to me in a kind of removing or changing it up, or sort of removing some of the need to be a sort of expert shot the minute you got into a game. So yeah, it certainly piqued my interest in a way online shooters haven't in ages.
Yeah, something original, something different. Good. Okie dokie. Back to fingers on buzzers. Titans also appeared in another multiplayer online first-person shooter, but do you know which one? I'm gonna take this as a no.
I think you can do that.
I could do a wild.
Go on, Hany.
Yeah, you see, I'm gonna go for Tribes or Tribes 2 or something.
No,
it's probably wrong.
Tribes 2 was just fab. That was a great game.
It wasn't one of those Battlefield 2042 or whatever it was called, was it?
It was Battlefield 2142.
Oh, okay.
Although they weren't the big stumpy robot type mech things.
Was it just a big floating space base type thing?
It was, yeah. It was a huge armadillo warship.
Yeah, I think I remember watching a couple of gameplay videos and seeing people sort of boost up and sabotage one of those stations and jump down again, and it all looked quite interesting, but I knew I'd be crap at it, so I never actually attempted it myself.
I did actually buy it secondhand and found out that the CD key inside had been registered already. So I went
Shock.
I went off in a massive huff and never went near it. So there you go. Don't buy secondhand games.
Well, yeah, certainly not on the PC at least. Who historically have developed the Battlefield series? Rob. It is indeed DICE, with Visceral tackling the latest version, Battlefield Hardline. Yeah.
So just a moment to say that is a magnificent main theme that Battlefield has. It just gets stuck in your head after a while. The whole. I'm not going to attempt it now, but you know the main Battlefield theme that you go to YouTube and listen to.
No, I know what you mean. Yeah, it's a good piece, but it's that driving beat behind it, almost like in a similar way the Terminator theme. It's not a spectacular piece of music, but that pounding, the dun at the back of it drives you in, and I think that's where possibly the Battlefield got their inspiration, because it's the same type of thing. It's that driving pound.
And they use it magnificently in trailers as well, or at least I remember in several of the earlier trailers for like the Battlefield 2 expansions and such. They just used it to build tension in an excellent way, because they'd use that beat and then go silent for a while. And it's really, really good. It's on one of those orchestral video game music collections. I can't remember which one, but it's on Spotify. So
I might have to check that out. Okie dokie. Right, we were just talking about DICE. DICE is an acronym, but for what?
Right, I'm going to go for 1/4 of a point, and I think the D stands for digital.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Rob. It does
Fantastic.
stand for
Fantastic. Does this mess up your scoring system?
You get a quarter of a point for the
For
four letters
digital.
in dice. Yeah.
Yeah, and Hany would get the other 3/4. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to have a stab at the rest of it? You've got digital.
Digital. Well, I used to like digital integration because they used to release things on the Spectrum that I used to play. So I'm going for integration, but even though it's not right. CE. I have no idea.
Okay. It's Digital Illusions Creative Entertainment.
Fantastic.
DICE are also responsible for the free-running delights of Mirror's Edge. While I might expect you to know the game's player-controlled protagonist, I also want you to name her sister and give me their surname.
Dolly and Frida Smith. You see, having gone for the obvious point before, I've got nothing to lose now.
I'm assuming you do both know the main protagonist's name and such.
I'm going to go for a quarter of a point. Faith.
Faith. Yeah.
Yes, it's coming back to me now.
No idea what her sister's called or the surname. Faith. Second game's going to be crap. No. Faith hand to hand. No.
It's Faith and Kate Connors.
Right.
Okay, yeah, I wouldn't have got
Faith
that.
and Kate.
No, I'd forgotten Faith as well, actually.
My next guess was going to be Faith Mario because she jumps a lot as well.
Yeah. Okay. Digital Illusions released their first game in 1992 on the Amiga. Can you tell me what it was? Digital Illusions.
Digital Illusions.
On the Amiga.
Amiga.
In 1992.
I never had an Amiga, so that's my
Megalomania is a name that comes to mind. I doubt it.
That was a fantastic game.
It's a good game, wasn't it?
No, the answer was Pinball Dreams.
Really?
Really? Really?
Right.
Returning to Visceral for a moment, in 2008, the Visceral developed Dead Space was released.
Mm-hmm.
Name the protagonist. Hany.
God. If I just say Isaac, you're going to ask for a surname that I don't know.
Of course I am going to ask for a surname, because his forename and his surname are relevant. That's the reason why he was given those names.
But you've got half a point, Hany, so I'd just rest there, to be honest.
Oh, crap. I keep wanting to say Newton now, even though I know it's not wrong. And I'm like, shut up, little voice.
Well, he was named Isaac after Newton. That's why his name's Isaac, but his surname is also relevant.
Isaac Graham Bell. No.
Having said that, that's assuming the story is true, of course, and it's not just made up and thrown on the internet for fun. No,
I definitely knew at some point, but yeah, not any longer.
His name is Isaac Clarke, supposedly after Isaac Newton and Arthur C. Clarke.
Okay.
Ah, damn. Yeah, I probably should have remembered that, to be honest. But, yeah.
And that is the end of our quiz.
Fabulous.
Not
that I'm pleased it's the end of the quiz, you understand, but I'm looking forward to hearing the level system in action.
I might need to revise the level system because...
Integers only.
It turns out we've all lost our points, and Kevin actually won with that 1 point he got from me.
Maybe it's a new format, but as with last week, we've ended up in a situation where you both have reached level 6, and so once again we have a draw.
Yay, well done.
Hey.
Well done.
Well done, Rob.
So, thank you both for coming on.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you, Kev.
And thank you, anybody out there who took the time to listen to us. As I say, if you've got any questions you want to throw our way for us to ask on the quiz, email them to leveluppodquiz@gmail.com. And hopefully we'll be back again next week to entertain you with our lack of knowledge. So thanks for listening, and goodbye.
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 Level Up was hosted by me, Kev Furlong, and was a Fairly Whirly production.